look like a hot mess right now, but I feel like a hot mess too, so that's okay. We're gonna kick things off. We're gonna do a couple different things, but it's kind of like the same. I don't even know what I'm saying. I can't even form complete sentences today, so sorry, but this is the reset fog.
This is day 3.
So we're just gonna put a couple things together. And one thing that we want to make sure before we get into planning anything for May is making sure that we have hit our April goals. That is super, super important. So right here, right now, we are looking at what? How many hours left? I'm not doing the math right now for our CEO code. I kind of went in and talked about it with my team and just that this is an absolutely incredible opportunity that we have to be able to set somebody up with a challenge pack for $100. So we have a couple hours left to use those codes. And I really feel like there is still plenty of time, okay? So that's an incredible opportunity. But I got to tell you this, I heard something on one of our leadership calls this morning that we need to focus. Like, yes, this is very, very exciting. This is huge. We've never seen this done before. But we also really want to focus on bringing that excitement when this coupon code expires. Okay? Because we still need to bring all things Let's Get Up. We still need to, shower and show our challengers with love and support and all of that. So how are we going to choose to show up after this coupon expires? So that's something we really want to keep in the forefront there. If you have not hit your goals for April yet, friend, there is still plenty of time. But at the very same time, we also want to get an idea of what's going to be happening and what our May is going to look like. We've talked a little bit before about getting super, super intentional with our planning, with our content, with what our goals are. And so that is going to be a really important piece of your business. Is just knowing what's going on, what you're inviting to, dates, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So, Amber, where do you want, what do you want to start here?
So what?
It's just not coming out like I wanted to. Like, I'm so
You're funny. All right. So basically what we want to do is go through like what our plan is for May. Okay. So like we know the customer launch for Let's Get Up is May 3rd. So that's going to be huge for Success Club in May. Okay. So we're going to we want you to think about like, when are you going to be starting your challenge group, like all that kind of stuff, so that you know kind of going into the month, like what you're doing and when, right? So like, you don't want to be like marketing for a whole bunch of stuff, like all the, like all the time. So you're confusing your people. So if your goal is like Success Club at the beginning of the month, you want to make sure that you are like marketing for your challenge group. I don't know if Katie and I are running our Let's Get Up group together, and we're starting on the 17th. Has anybody else thought about when they're starting their Let's Get Up group? Is anybody else running a Let's Get Up group?
I'm starting on the 10th, May 10th.
Okay.
What are you doing with all your people that are signing up by today?
Hanging out.
Okay.
Well, a majority of my people that are signing up are in Biggest Loser.
Yeah, same.
So they have space right now to go.
Yeah, so they're really going towards Biggest Loser, and then after I'm going to focus on the 17th group. But Biggest Loser officially starts on Monday, so like weigh in and stuff. So that's really what we're doing.
So I'm running my challenge groups like the first Monday of every month, and then I'm doing like a new theme every month. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably get the people that all signed up today into, or like by the end of April into my May group, and then I'll promote Let's Get Up a little bit separate. And then if people already started, they can just go into the Let's Get Up group. Just as another option to share with what you guys like, what I'm doing. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a special Let's Get Up group or not, because I don't really have a lot of people doing it right now. But so those are options to you guys. You can do a separate Let's Get Up group. You can combine with other coaches and do a Let's Get Up group, which I feel like it always makes it a little bit more exciting when everyone's doing the same program. Or you can just add people to your regular challenge group. You just have to have a plan. So.
And especially a date too. I know we kind of chatted about this, but just to know, this is when I need to get all of my people enrolled by. So this is when I need to start inviting. You kind of like, you pick that date and kind of reverse engineer it a little bit. So you pick that date whenever your group is starting, and then you want to say, okay, well, I'm going to go 2 weeks prior to that. This is the day that I'm going to start. This is the day that I'm going to start inviting. This is the day that I need to have everyone enrolled by. So that's what we mean by being super intentional, just with your dates and knowing exactly what you're going to invite to, because you can speak so much more confidently into what you're inviting to and getting them into your group when you have a date. Like it's just so much easier to invite to when you're like, I've got my crap together and this is what's going on and you need to be in there with us. So there's that. What else, Amber?
So I just pulled out my calendar. So if you all have your calendars, so basically what you're going to want to do, like when you're really thinking about this, is pick a date, whatever date you want, however you want to run your groups. Like if you want to team up, if anybody, like in my downline, if you want to be in the group for Let's Get Up, like invite your people, you're more than welcome to do that. And then, so basically, like for me, the 17th is day 1. So every day up until like basically the 16th, I'm going to be talking about Let's Get Up and inviting to Let's Get Up. So the group starts on the 17th. I'll probably have, there might be a couple people that are like, okay, I want to get in. But publicly, I'm going to switch over and start marketing for the coaching opportunity.
When are you saying your enrollment closes if it starts on the 17th?
The 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'll probably, like finalize messages and stuff.
I also feel like our challenge packs are back in good faith with delivery right now. So I feel like we're not having to make sure that there's like 3 weeks for them to get their stuff. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to that too, but I really feel like all of my people are getting their stuff on time and actually pretty quickly now. So that's kind of a good thing for us, that we're able to push that invite out a little bit further. And Amber and I, like Amber had said, we're doing the group, the Let's Get Up group together. If you need a place and if this is what you want to do, you're more than welcome to come in there. And we also have our launch party over on Facebook that we're just going to be like putting all the Let's Get Up stuff in there and doing fun little challenges and live workouts and stuff like that. And so if you really want to, you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't put all this stuff together by myself. Don't do that. Don't feel like you have to recreate all of this stuff. Just hop in there and then invite your people, because that's really what it's there for too. So
I can do you want me to put the link in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get it. Okay. Well then, I can't minimize it. Hold on. You guys keep talking.
I can do it. I got it.
Okay. All right. When it's recording, I can't minimize the screen. So that we're all on the same page. So this month, next week, a week from today, we have a sneak peek. Okay. So the 28th at 8:30. So next week at this same time, we have a sneak peek. So that means, So the last Wednesday of the month, we have a sneak peek. So that will be the 26th of May.
Hey, Amber, speaking on that, can we kind of brainstorm how we're going to do that? Because this is going to be a really big sneak peek. And what we
Yep.
really wanted to do was send, I mean, I've been doing it personally for my people for sneak peeks, is sending them like a little cocktail or mocktail recipe in an email and reminding them that we have the call. But what we really wanted to start doing was, number one, doing like a boomerang with everybody kind of cheersing to make it a little bit more fun and to bring the energy a little bit, because it's very intimidating when new people get on here. And they, you know, we just want them to really feel comfortable and feel like they belong here and that they can have fun and just come and hang out and listen to what we do. And also we were thinking about doing some sort of drawing. So for our coaches, and I don't think we kind of like finalize this, but I feel like maybe we can brainstorm that a little bit, to anyone that has somebody new show up gets entered into a drawing. And then at the very end of the call, whoever's kind of paying attention to who's showing up at the very end of the call, we can do a little drawing. We thought that would be pretty fun too. But we're just trying to find ways to just make it fun and get our people who are coming to find out what we do, that you don't have to have yourself all together, and we're just here to have fun and share how we do this and what we do. So we're trying to make that a little bit more fun.
And just in case, because I think we have some new faces in here, the sneak peek next week is like a sneak peek into the coaching opportunity. So we invite people to come and join us and hear stories and learn about what we do as coaches and stuff like that. I can create a separate sneak peek link that we use every month, so it will be different from this link, so that people actually have to register if you want me to do that, because that way we know who's interested in coming even if they don't come, and also that way we know who's actually here if they are here, because sometimes people just come and their name is iPhone and we don't always know who they are when they come. So if we at least have the registered list, we can share that with everyone, and then we can at least like recognize the names of people that we've talked to make sure, like, okay, this person didn't show up but they registered, so then you can follow up and give them the recording, or however you want to follow up with them. Does everyone feel okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I can do that.
It's also another way, if they truly get stuck and aren't able to show up or something comes up, that we can follow up with them and say, offer the recording. So we have a way to follow up to see, with whoever was planning on coming. So that'll be a good way too. And then make sure that if they didn't get on that one, they can come, you have their email, they can come on the next one. So I think that's a good idea too.
Okay.
All right. So do you want to go, just talk about the rest of like May and the planning, and then we can chat Diamond a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, that kind of goes into it though, right? So like when you are going into a new month, it's really, really important to look at what your goals are. So it's not just, you're looking at Success Club or you're just looking at this, but where do you want to be in your business? Do you have a goal of getting a certain number of coaches? Do you have a goal of, like different kind of things? So like if your goal really is to go diamond, look at, where you're at in your business right now and like how many coaches you need. And I mean, think about where you've been as far as like hitting Success Club. If you are consistently hitting Success Club, then I mean, maybe you step it up. Maybe instead of SC10, your goal is SC10, right? And maybe 2 of those are coaches to help you push towards.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Is that helpful?
Yes, that's helpful.
You guys are so quiet. So, I mean, what questions do you have about like marketing and setting your goals and like anything? Yes. Anything? Any thoughts?
Anybody?
I know, so quiet.
Okay, so you guys that are shooting for Diamond, are you looking at your sponsorship drill down every single week? Because what you focus on is what, like, where your energy, what is it? Where your focus goes, your energy flows. And so if Diamond is your goal, you should be pulling up that drill down Thursday or Friday. Thursday, sometimes the drill down doesn't look correct because the back office is wonky. So I always recommend Friday because sometimes we can go into that Thursday drill down and panic because we don't see anyone. I've gone in there and had no coaches on my team. I'm like, oh, okay, that's scary. So anyways, going in there on a Friday and saying, okay, where am I in my business, and making sure that you have that visual. So you need, and knowing, do you know what it takes to be Diamond? Do you know how many coaches you need? And so you should be looking at that every week and saying, okay, here are my goals for the month, but then what are my goals for the week? Like, all right, I have 3 on this side and I only have 2 on this side and I still need 2 emeralds. So that's what you're thinking about. Like, okay, I need to sign 4 more coaches, get 2 more emeralds. I mean, that's where you're, and so when you're working all week long, that's going to be like in the front of your mind, in your subconscious, and you're going to actually see opportunities for that you wouldn't have otherwise seen if that wasn't something that you were actually thinking about. So you need to have that, and that should be, and I recommend that you get with your upline and make sure, and I know some of you guys are in like the Diamond Dash group, but it really is a good idea to have someone keep you accountable to those goals on a weekly basis so that you're checking in and saying, okay, what's the drill down look like? How many people did you invite? Because it's really hard on our for ourselves even to keep ourselves accountable, right? Because we're like, oh, just do it next week. But if you have that person that's saying, all right, how many did you sign up this week? You're not going to want to get on that phone or into that group or in that pod saying, I didn't invite anybody or I didn't sign anybody up.
Yep.
Do you guys all have those bubble sheets? Do you know what that, do you have that visual?
I'm
just
not
had
sure what you mean by the drill down.
So when you go into the coach online office, I don't know, Amber, if you want to do like a screen share, you could. You don't have to, but when you go into the coach online office and you go into monitor my business, it's the bottom quadrant. And there it says sponsorship drill down. And when you click on that, it shows you your coaches. So you can see how many coaches, what leg they're on.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And if they're active or not, because that gets super important too when you start to build and you have a coach that becomes Emerald. They have 2 coaches under them, but they're not necessarily your coaches. So you need to see what's happening.
Okay.
So as you begin to build your business, just get into that habit. So you might feel like, well, I only have 2 coaches right now. Why am I constantly looking at my drill down? Just because it's in your head. Like you just want to take it from someone that didn't do it and didn't get into the habit. I missed a qualification to go to leadership because I had a girl drop that I easily could have solved that problem. I was in my 6-week qualification. It was week 5. I was 2-star diamond and my 1 diamond dropped and I didn't look at my drill down and she didn't look at her drill down and I lost it and it was too late. And so I missed going to leadership because I missed just doing that. So I don't miss the drill down anymore.
I'm sure. Okay.
Because sometimes your coaches can miss it and you can just say, hey, do you see your coaches going inactive? And that's really just being a good business owner. You want to make sure you know what's going on with everybody. And it might just be a matter of reaching out and saying, and they can say like, oh, I delayed my order. Or, sometimes people even like their credit card just like they have to cancel it because it got stolen or something and they totally forget about their Beachbody.
Mm-hmm.
It can be as simple as that.
Yeah.
Jody, what were you saying about your phone? Back office on their phone, I'm getting error. I don't know how you do that.
I do what?
Use the back office through your phone. I can't. So
Oh,
I can't
seriously?
say.
Oh.
I never use my phone.
Yeah, I always use it and it's fine. It usually works just fine. But like for the last like couple of weeks, I get this message that just says, we work out too. We are hard at work improving a few things to make your experience better. Please check back soon. But it seems like I only get it if I'm checking my volume on my phone. So like I can't check my team volume on my phone, which is frustrating.
I mean, I'd maybe reach out to tech support on that, but
Okay.
I never have an issue on my computer, but I don't typically use it from my phone.
Yeah, I don't have an issue on my computer and I can check it there. It's just I honestly usually check it like 99% on my phone because I'm never at my computer.
Yeah, I would reach out to tech support. They should be able to, because can you reset there? I mean, I feel like the computer, they're always like reset your cookies, but can you do that on your phone or are you supposed to or something? I don't know.
You know, honestly, I haven't turned it off in like months, so maybe I just need to turn it off and turn it back on. I don't know. But it's like the only thing that's the problem. Everything else seems like it's fine. And I usually run it through like either Chrome or Safari. And it was like Chrome wasn't working, so I went to Safari and then like it worked on Safari and then it didn't. So I don't know. All right, I'll call them. I need to call anyways in regards to, my coach that I want to switch legs on.
You can do that online.
Can you? Is that what you were saying, Kirsten?
Changing your preferred placement.
Uh-huh.
Like if a coach signs up and you want them on a different leg, yes, there's a form right online. If you're in your office and you hit support, go to like the forms and documents and there's a placement change form.
Okay.
And
They
it gives
actually
you the
wouldn't even, I
option
just
for
did that
coaching.
2 days ago, Jody, and they wouldn't let me chat. They just kept directing me back to the form and I submitted
It's
it
super
online.
easy.
So all I would do is put in the coach who I want it under their ID number and then tell which leg on that coach I want it under. Is that right?
No.
Is it a personalized
You know
sponsored
the
coach?
person you want it under. Just give them that ID because it's already, that ID is already placed. So you don't need to give them the leg. There's a place there that says, if you know the coach ID, like it gives you a place. So that Coach Nelly, whatever that ID is, that's the person you want that person under. Just put that ID in there.
But I don't have to specify if I want it on her right or left leg. It's going to automatically put it on her right leg because I'm building the right leg of Justin, if that makes sense. But she's my personally sponsored.
Whatever coach ID you want it under, don't think sponsorship. It's in your business center. So for example, like let's say Justin has two coaches. Justin's weak leg is his right leg and Kelly is the last coach on his weak leg. You're going to put Kelly's ID in that place. Do you understand what I'm saying? We can talk about it aside. I don't want
Okay, yeah, this is like more than this more than the call needs to.
Yeah, I'll talk about it with you.
Okay.
Offline.
So can I ask a question about that really quick? Can I place personally sponsored coaches under other coaches so that I can become Emerald? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying, but you can. So like when I wanted to be Diamond, my husband was my first Emerald coach on my left leg and my mom was my first Emerald coach on my right leg.
See, and I don't have two accounts that I can control like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like I have my husband at Emerald, but then my other leg, I don't have any working coaches. I have, a wishy-washy working coach, but can I place coaches under them to make her emerald? I can't.
The only way you can do it is if you have a conversation with that person.
But then
So, like,
she's making the money off of it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't
Okay.
recommend it either.
No, I
Unless-
just,
Yeah, the only
No.
way that I would recommend it is if you're okay giving up that money for it, knowing that, like, for me, it was worth it for me to put someone under my mom and have her make the commission or the bonus cycles off of being an Emerald coach because she's my mom.
no, for sure. And if I had another person that wanted to do that, I wish I did, to be honest with you, but I don't have another, like my daughter's only 5 years old. I can't start a coach account for her. And my, I don't speak to my mom and, whatever, but I didn't know if there was a way that I could like build up someone else. Like,
Yeah, I don't usually recommend it. The only thing I would do is unless you have like another good friend or something and you have that conversation. But I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, then if that person becomes a rock star coach that you put under them, you're going to kick yourself for that.
Yeah, it's always kind of a slippery slope because
For
then
sure.
it's another account that you're sort of in control. But what we were saying is in your graphical genealogy, so you are the sponsoring coach, but like your husband's account is on a leg.
yes.
And then there are inside and outside legs. So you can, it's a little bit complicated. You don't really need to worry about that now, but it's a strategic move for growing volume. But Jody is still sponsoring. She just wants to make sure she wants to make sure when they get placed that their volume also positively impacts her husband's account. Because everything comes up, everything trickles up. And so you just want to make sure. And so when you start building a second business center and when you have a spouse account, like you can be strategic about where you're placing people to capitalize on like compounding that income that you earn.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So
No, yeah,
the
it totally
wording
makes
that we're
sense.
using is probably not the best, but Jody is the sponsor. She's just looking at her tree, trying to maximize her income based on.
Oh no. And I get that because there's like one of Amber's, I guess Andy's technically like my upline, but one of his other coaches like shows up in my tree too, like above my husband, even though she's not personally sponsored. I like to call it a tree. I don't know. Makes it sound cooler. But no, I get what you're saying. But I just thought if there was a way for me to whatever. But I got to send a cart real quick. One more coach sign up for me. Bring on the water bottle, Kirsten.
That's also another thing too that comes to mind just for newer coaches that are on here. Your graphical genealogy, I understand what we're talking about, may sound really, really confusing. And when I actually just dealt with this a couple times this week, when you go into your graphical genealogy, you are going to see your downline. You're going to see other people's names that you have not signed up, but we are all on the same team. And so I know that can get really, really confusing, but if you want to like do your sponsorship drill down and you can also select personally sponsored coaches, and that is going to weed out all of like the actual genealogy, and that's going to put your personally sponsored coaches in one place so you can see everyone you have on your left and everyone you have on your right and who's active and who's inactive. So that's just kind of a different way to filter a little bit of that when you're really just like, I just need to see my people, who's on my left, who's on my right. Use personally sponsored coaches and then the sponsorship drill down. Because when you get into that graphical genealogy, it can be really confusing at first. But then once you understand more of like who signed up here and who's on which leg and which leg you're building, you'll understand that a whole lot better. But I just want to clear that up because I'm sure that like I know I have new coaches on here that are like, what the heck are you guys talking about? So that's just another way to simplify it too.
How long do you guys wait? Like I tried to change one of my girls from my left to my right leg, and that was like Monday morning, and they still haven't moved. I got the email confirmation from Beachbody saying that like I completed the form, but normally it's pretty quick, and I haven't gotten a response. Like she's still on my left leg, and I'm afraid that I'm gonna like miss that window.
It's usually they do it within 24 hours.
What I thought.
It's probably because of everything else right now, would be my guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I guarantee there's a lot of people doing that right now because I've done I've done two in the last 2 days. So, I mean, I can guarantee there's people, like,
Okay.
it's probably just a whole bunch of nonsense up there in Beachbody Tech world. I mean, Beachbody Tech is not stellar to begin with, so love Beachbody, but their technology is not stellar sometimes.
Okay. As long as I have like the email confirming that like I sent the request, you guys think I'm fine?
Yeah,
You
I
should
wouldn't
be
stress
fine.
over it.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, as long as it's in that window, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and by window, it's 5 days, 10 days. Is it 10 days now? It's 5 days.
So,
It's 5. So when
5 business days, so
Yes.
really 7, because you have the weekend always falls in there, but it's 5 business days.
Yeah, so if you have somebody who signs up as a coach, right, and you want to kind of level stuff out. So say that you're trying to get to Emerald, okay, and you're a coach, and you have 2 coaches sign up, but they both end up on your right leg. You have 5 days from the time that person signed up as a coach to actually move over to the other leg to balance you out. Okay, that's kind of what that means, just in case there's people who are like, huh? Because I know a lot of this stuff can go over your head if you're new. It's a lot. But this is like going back to like the marketing stuff. What questions do you have about marketing? Do you want to actually do a plan together? Do you want to I just want to get a feel for where everyone is at, because I know my team likes to know what my marketing plan is. And I usually share that with them.
So I have a question. So my Let's Get Up test group is starting on the 10th, and I set a hard registration deadline, like Katie suggested last week. So I put that at the 5th. So then from the 5th until the 26th, do I just market the coaching sneak peek? Do I market, like I'm considering doing like multiple Let's Get Up test group starts, like as people start to like, I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Your group is starting on the 10th. Why the 5th?
Because it was 5 days before. I don't know.
Just-
I have no idea. Katie just said pick a date. So I was like, May 5th. Done. Cinco de Mayo. If you're not in by then, no tacos for you.
So here's a
offering
question.
margaritas, Kenna.
I don't freaking know. Yeah, you guys won't even be able to have one, will you? Is that 21 days? No margarita party for Katie and Chelsea.
I know. So here's my question.
Amber, I'll let you speak on this. It just really depends what your goals are. Like what?
That's what I was just going to ask. What are your goals?
Yeah.
My goals is to hit diamond. So then I
Is
do
it-
need to be talking about coaching more, right?
Is it just diamond, or do you have SC goals too? Do you have a number of new customers that you want?
So I definitely want to hit SE6 minimum. And I would like for my what? Don't talk to me.
SC10.
Okay, well, so this is my thought, to get SC, but then to also get my husband. No, I guess my husband doesn't matter because he doesn't get leads, right?
No, you have to have a beach. I thought this too. You have to have a Beachbody on Demand account.
So then
And I'm
it
assuming
doesn't.
he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. So it doesn't really make sense for him to hit SE. But to make him a stable emerald, it might be smart to put 2 more under him.
That's fair.
So then there's just always so many different avenues. And that's, for me, it's hard, like deciding exactly which one. Like once I decide, I'm super laser focused and it's fine, but it's like, which one is the most important? But if I hit SC by May 5th, then I can like redirect my focus.
So how many Let's Get Up challenge packs do you want to sell?
10.
Okay. So
That's my goal.
okay.
So why don't you make your cutoff? You don't need to make it the 5th. If I were you, I would make the cutoff the 9th, and that's the last day. And then the 10th. So then you're starting your day 1 on the 10th. And then you're just going to talk about, like, all week long, you're going to talk about getting into that group. So you're still sort of talking about your challenge group. You're talking
Okay.
about how excited you're helping all of your people. And then you can transition to start talking about coaching on May 17th. So you're talking about coaching all that week, including in your challenge group that's been going on for a week.
Perfect.
And
That's a great
then
idea.
you're going to invite everybody to that coach sneak peek. So now your challengers have been with you for the 2 weeks. They've been in your group. So you may have a good group of people right there that will come listen to your call on the 26th that you can talk to about coaching. So then you're talking about coaching, our new coaching mentorship that's going to happen on May 31st, or I don't know, probably the next week, June, whatever. And then you can decide how your Let's Get Up is going, because you've been talking about it. Now people are getting results, and you may do another launch like June, like another Let's Get Up. And you could do it one of 2 ways. You could do like new launch group, or you could do like, we're repeating another round.
Yeah.
And so, like, all my girls are going through it again. Join us for the second round. So then once June comes around, now you have your June group starting, and you can advertise for a general challenge group, or you can advertise for Let's Get Up. I mean, here's the thing. You were in the test group. Like, this is totally your jam. I will tell you, when I was in a test group, I did 2 groups. Like, I'm pretty sure, because my program was short too. It was only 3 weeks. So I was like, round 2, we're doing it again. And then I had people with me that did round 1. And then I had new people doing round 1 too, because they watched my people get results.
Well, and I really, truly, I don't know, you guys probably don't watch my stories, but I like got super emotional today. Like, I really do feel like this program is for everybody. Like, 9-week Control Freak didn't really speak to a lot of people. MBF definitely didn't speak to a lot of people. I feel like just the name itself like scared people. Like, this program truly is marketable to everybody and everybody. You know what I mean? Like, there's no equipment necessary. So like, I do like the idea of running multiple groups, and I really do love the program. So it's not like, that's easy. Like, I really am passionate about it, and I feel strongly about it. So
yeah, I mean, you guys can add whatever, but I would also, just like evaluate how like your May went. And when you start thinking about, because you're going to start to think about this time next month, once we start to head into June, and you're gonna be like, dang, I had so many people. This is exciting. You're probably excited from the program. And then you can even talk about coaching from the standpoint, you got to do the test group because you're a coach. Like, that's life changing. So that like success starter. So if I were you, I would be talking like hardcore about the success starter opportunity that you had when you're talking about the 2 weeks of coaching after you launch your group, like hitting that really hard, because that's some like, I mean, and I wouldn't call it success starter, like call it something else that people would make sense, because people were like, oh, I don't even know what a success starter is. But like, because I helped 9 people, or whatever, like you can condense it. But that's how I would do it if I were you.
okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Is this helpful? What other questions do you have? Thoughts?
So remember,
I
the
just
key
wanted-
dates
go
are
ahead,
challenge
Kirsten.
group and coach sneak peek. So those dates. So plug that in. Let's Get Up. Sorry, Katie, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
It's okay.
Let's Get Up is May 3rd, right? Is the customer launch. And so that's really the first thing you want to do when you sit down to make your calendar is put those key dates in that you sort of don't have control over. And then you can mark it. So you want to have a challenge group date, and then you already have your coach sneak peek date. So you can create your plans around that.
So when is the May sneak peek?
May 26th.
Okay,
Always the fourth Wednesday.
always the fourth Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah, and the big thing that you want to think about is that you don't want to be marketing for two things or more than one thing at a time, because you
Okay.
don't want to confuse your people, and you don't want to go like, today I'm going to talk about Let's Get Up, but tomorrow I'm going to talk about coaching, and today I'm going to talk about Let's Get Up. You want to make sure that you're sticking to at least one thing for several days so that people know what to expect. So the way that, and I don't know if I've said this before, but I've heard this multiple times, is that like your stories are kind of like your TV show, and then what you market for is kind of like the commercials, right? So you can use the same slides in your stories over and over and over again, because not all people are going to see those stories all the time. So they can be watching you, like, you know, like going through your life, and then, oh, there you go. Like, it's like the same commercial that they've seen before. And so they, and typically they have to see things like 7 times before it sticks and before they realize, like, oh, this is a thing. This is what I need to do for this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what Amber means too, like when you're talking about things like calls to action. So like you can still talk about coaching every day in your stories, but your call to action is going to be either towards a challenge group or towards coaching.
Right. So like you can talk about coaching like this, right? Like this is a part of coaching. And so we take a picture and we share it in our stories. And, you know, like I share like little pockets of the time that I spend like doing this during the day. And, you know, like there's little jabs about coaching in there. But then when you're marketing for the actual sneak peek, it's like a real call to action on like sneak peek this date, this time, vote in my poll, or go to my story, or go to my Instagram bio, or whatever it is that you want them to do. It's the same with your posts too. So this is the other thing that I want to add. So when you actually come up with your marketing plan, you know the stuff that you can kind of take that marketing plan and pull together the stuff that you're going to be posting about, right? So like if you know that from May 1st until May 16th, and I'm looking at my calendar, so this is me, right? I'm going to be talking about Let's Get Up. So I know that at least twice a week, I'm going to be talking about Let's Get Up, and I'm going to have a call to action on basically joining my VIP group, right? So that I'm telling people to go to this VIP group so that they know that like this is where you're going to find all the information. That's going to be my call to act. Does that make sense?
So you're saying though, you're just touching on a couple days out of the week about.
So I won't, so in my stories, every single day, there's going to be a call to act for Let's Get Up. Every day
Okay.
I will post on something, but my feed, I will not talk about Let's Get Up in my feed every day,
Okay.
because I talk about more stuff than just that.
Okay.
What else? Thoughts, questions?
So is there, you were saying is a group for Let's Get Up that some of us could participate in and invite our people to? Is that, okay.
Yeah, Jenny, I put the link in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I put it in there.
Would I still be able to access that after this meeting's over, or do I have to get that now?
Yeah, you might want to copy and paste it into your
Okay.
browser.
Okay. So this is kind of maybe a little off topic, but it's a, question I have. I was thinking a couple of things. I think some of the things I've been having difficulty with is like, I still am trying to learn my way around how to even do some things computer wise, tech wise. And sometimes I'll have this grand idea, or so I think, and I get excited about it and I start to write my ideas down. And then when I'm trying to translate it into something techie and do something about it, in the little chunks of time that I have, I either run out of time or I get frustrated because I can't figure certain things out, on how to operate it. So that's been kind of my snag at, trying to work around work and just having to do the daily things of life. Is there any online course or something to bring me up to speed on tech that anyone can recommend?
I would say
I mean-
YouTube.
Okay. Well, that makes
YouTube
sense.
would be the first thing. Like if you want to know how to do something, I would YouTube
Oh
it.
yeah, that's obvious because that's what I do with everything else. I don't know why I didn't think of that with tech.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Is there anybody in particular you follow that's
No,
good?
I literally just go to YouTube and I'm like,
Get on there
how do I do
and what
this?
comes up. Okay. I
Sorry,
don't know why I didn't
brain
think
going
of
back.
that. Okay. All right. Thanks for that reminder.
Jenny, I would also pick a day of the week that you dedicate that time to when you feel like you have a little bit extra time.
Mhm.
So, like weekends when you're off, that way, and always do your IPAs, they're called, income producing activities first. So, like your posts and your connections and your invites and your follow-ups and servicing, like helping your clients, doing that stuff first, and then whatever time you have left over in those pockets of time. And if you don't, then I would push learning that kind of stuff, but also like make it a priority too, because it can also get really pushed. Like if you're trying to learn how to make reels, for example,
Mhm.
and you keep like, oh, I'll learn it next week, and then a month I'm speaking for myself,
Yeah.
a month has gone
Yeah,
by
that's
and
another
you still
thing.
don't know how to freaking do a good reel.
I did one reel so far. That was it. It was mostly a slideshow, and I see some of these other ones, and again, it's one of those things. I'm sitting there trying to figure it out, and it's like, how did they do that? And it's so I'll have to watch Melanie's. She did that a few weeks ago. I'll have to watch that again and get it down.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be helpful. I mean, we could either share that one or we could do one of our own too. Just get some feedback from little areas that we need help and kind of do a training on that too for one of these Wednesday night calls.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And then maybe having everyone sort of try to work on them. And then that way everyone has questions.
Yep.
So, I mean, I know I've sent Katie questions about things that I had no
Yeah,
idea.
Katie, I
was
enjoy
working on them.
watching your reels there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'd say you have that down pretty
They're
good.
fun. They're fun. And I know we just heard this too, that if you're having fun doing it, your people are going to have fun. If you are stressed out and you're not like, I just feel like I have to do this and put it out there, they're going to
Mhm.
get those vibes too. But yeah, if you're having fun, they're going to have fun too.
The one and only one that I did enjoy it, because it came together the way I imagined it, and so I was happy with it, and I did get some good responses from it.
Good.
But I
That's
was
awesome.
amazed though to see how many people's eyeballs get on a reel.
It's
So
the number one thing on Instagram right now. That is how you can organically grow. That is how you can reach many different people. That's how you can kind of reach outside of the people who are following you and watching your stories and kind of bring them in. It's literally the number one thing right now. is
And
really
it doesn't have to be beach body. Like that's the thing that's kind of crazy about it, is it doesn't have to be like it has to just, if there is a reel that you enjoy, then recreate it because your person likes it too. So that's what's kind of mind boggling to me is the reels, and like the reels, they're just, they could be just random, but funny. A lot of it's entertaining, like Katie said, but also it might be 2 weeks from now that it actually starts to gain traction. And I've noticed
Okay.
that because I'll click on a reel that I like and I'm like, oh, that's funny. And I'll look at that person and they posted it like 2 weeks ago. And it's just showing up in
Oh, okay.
the reels reel, whatever that's
It's all
called.
about the algorithm. I mean, you can have, so your reel is going to go I feel like I want to say one of three ways, but one of two ways. You can see a spike from 0 to 500 in 2 minutes. And usually those will kind of flatten out. And then the ones that kind of gradually grow are the ones that continuously are just being put back into reels and other people are continuously seeing them. It's all about the algorithms. It changes all the time. So what's so important is to keep doing them. You're gonna, like, they're not gonna be perfect. Some of them are gonna be messy. You're gonna mess up. Like, it's okay. What matters most is that you keep putting them out there, and you're gonna get more comfortable as you keep practicing and keep putting them out there. You're never gonna really know what's gonna take off or what your people want to see until you keep doing it and keep track of it. Like, okay, that got a lot of views. That's what my people want to see. So you just can find little ways to give them more of that same thing in a different way. And if you see somebody's reel and you're like, oh my gosh, that was funny. And if you laughed, like Kirsten, you just said that, like if you see somebody's reel and you're like, oh, that was really funny, you can also take somebody else's reel and do the same concept, just make it something that you would want to talk about. So just because you see something that they're doing doesn't mean you have to talk exactly about what they're talking about in their reel. You could just take that and adjust it to something that, is business related or entertainment related or whatever it is, a recipe or something like that. But it's really, really important that you use the really like popular audio too. That makes a really big difference. And you can literally, we can do a whole other training on this really, but you can grab the audio from somebody else's and use that, but you really want to use like the trending audios, and that kind of bumps your reel out there too.
Yeah, I see some of the ones. In fact, Kirsten, you just did one recently with a voiceover kind of thing. And I could only find one in the list that Instagram gives you of these voiceovers. Like, so where are all these voiceovers coming from? Because there's one person in particular who I follow who she's doing one every day, and hers is usually always about wine or something. and it's always a voiceover kind of thing. And I was like, how is she doing that?
Well, you just save the audio. So it's like the same as a song. It's just, do you know how to save the audio?
I'm not sure.
You go to her reel. You basically go to
Oh,
her
I could
reel,
save her
whatever reel
audio.
that yep. And there's an audio that kind of goes across the bottom, and you
Did
click
see
on
that.
that, and you click and save audio, and it'll go in saved folder, or you click use audio if you're going to use it
Right away. Okay. I thought maybe that was in a list somewhere as well as the songs. Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much time about that. So
Katie, let's do a training on this.
Okay. Yeah, it's because it's already 9:30. Like, we could literally do a whole training on this.
Yep. Any last minute questions?
okay. So if you could, Kirsten, can you just go through that order one more time? Like, as you look at or whoever wants to speak, when you go through what's going on, like the customer launches on the 3rd, and then Katie mentioned, so maybe backtrack from whatever the event is, set a date for what event you want to do for whatever that launch is. I'm sorry. My brain's not working real well either. I'm having a hard time expressing myself. You had said something about working backwards from a date. Say it's a launch or an event. So you go back to whatever that date is, you decide what you're going to invite people to. You set a deadline for people to be in that particular event or group or whatever it is. Okay. All right. And then that's just kind of how you work from there. And then within that event, you do some marketing about coaching too. That's when you want to start kind of working some coaching in. Like once the group is up and going, within the group, we're talking about, say it's a Let's Get Up group, then you're going to talk about coaching or talk about product to some degree, correct? No.
So all of it up until that last part.
Okay.
So if you're talking about, so I'll use my stuff as an example, right? So my group for Let's Get Up is going to start on the 17th. So typically 10 days before that start date is when you want to start talking about it and inviting to it. Okay. So May 1st is honestly like when I'm going to really start talking about it, just because the customer launch is on the 3rd. So I'm going to be inviting to Let's Get Up until May 16th. Once May 16th comes, all my social media is not going to be showing that I'm inviting to that group anymore. I'm going to be talking specifically about coaching. That's what people are going to see me marketing in my stories. And that's what people are going to see in my feed. It's not the only thing that I'm going to be talking about, because I'm still a person and I still have life and I still have all the things that I normally share on social media. But that's where my focus is as far as marketing. And so I'm going to be talking about the sneak peek opportunity and the coaching opportunity and inviting to that after my Let's Get Up group starts.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Sydney, are you doing the program Let's Get Up, and do you feel like your audience will like this program? Your ideal person.
I've gotten some good responses from people that are what I would consider my ideal audience. You know, they seem to enjoy it. And I think a lot of them are the type that are geared toward like your typical like aerobic stuff, you know, Zumba classes and things like that. So I think they're kind of having a little bit of a connection with this particular program.
So I would follow Amber's marketing. That's how I would do it for May. I think that's what you should do. I think you should really, you know, be to action, like, and like have a group for it. Because it sounds like it's and I would do the program too. If I
I did.
Yeah. Well, see, then it is your team. You know? So you start the program now, and then I would be talking about it every day. And like she said, using that. And then you and I can kind of chat offline too.
Okay.
For the end of this month. But I think that is a good idea.
Okay.
To follow it kind of the way she said it.
Okay.
So,
Hey, Sharon, do you have a question?
Yeah. So, random question. Does the amount of groups you have per month increase your chances of hitting SC?
No.
Not your groups. No, your groups are where you're going to put your people to love on them, to support them, to make sure that they're getting results. So no, I mean, you know the rolling group. I have that rolling group every single month. And then if there comes a new launch, I do start a new group for new launch about it. The groups really don't, I mean, it's the person that is purchasing a challenge pack from you or getting on a home direct from you that's giving you the SC points. That's like basically what I like to look at I just can't do this anymore. Basically how I like to look at it is that's how many lives you're changing versus a number like an SC number. But that's not, there's no correlation like with how many groups you run that has to do with SC. Does that help? Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. so sorry, guys.